Welcome back to Little Piece of Heart Kitchen. It's me, Kathleen Hart here, and I'm going to show you how to make a really lovely lemon butter chicken. Now this is going to be baked in the oven. It's going to be economical because we're going to be using chicken thighs with the skin on and bone in. Super cheap right now. If you go to your grocery store, check it out because they really are. And we're going to be adding, a nice spice blend too with stuff that you probably already have in your pantry. And it's going to come together so quickly. It's all going to cook in one pan and you're going to have a nice gravy afterwards to spoon on top. So this couldn't be any easier. Just come down and take a look at the ingredients. But like I said, I am using the bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. So when you first get them from the grocery store, they have a lot of extra skin, some extra fat on them. Take a look at this quick way on how I like to prepare them. Here's how chicken thighs come, and they're great. They're an economical piece of meat. However, they can be a bit, hard to work with if you don't know what you're doing. So what I want to do is clean this up. Just to give you an example, there's all this extra skin. You don't want that. You want some skin and some fat, but you do not need all this extra. I like to take a good pair of kitchen scissors, kitchen shears, and just go right around here and get rid of all of that excess skin. We do not need that. Even that as well. And this, you don't have to be perfect. If you take off a little piece of meat, no one's gonna come to your house and yell at you. It's totally fine. Just taking off, the extra fat. If it's too much for me, like all of this, you don't need this. So I'm just gonna cut that off, and there we go. A nice, pretty chicken thigh with some nice skin here that is gonna be nice and crispy, whether you're doing it in a pan or in the oven. Now that you saw how I prepared my chicken thighs, come down and take a look at how many ingredients are in this recipe. It's not that many. Most of it's spices and it's super, super flavorful. So come down and take a look. We have 4 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs here, the ones I already cleaned up. I'm gonna use some salt and pepper, a little bit of salted butter here. I always use salted butter in case anyone's asking or wondering. That's always gonna be salted butter unless I say so. Now our spices, we have some herb de Provence. If you've never used this before, get yourself a jar. For a couple dollars, you'd be surprised how much flavor it can give into so many different dishes, especially chicken. Some thyme, onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes, which of course are optional. If you're making this for kids, you can just leave that out. Half of a lemon, a nice little sprig of rosemary that I took from my plant outside, and a little bit of chicken stock. So that's it. I'm gonna get it all started. The first thing we're gonna do is we already have our chicken thighs ready to go. So we need to make our butter mixture for the lemon butter part of the chicken. So I'm gonna take a fork, and what I'm gonna do, this butter's already been softened. So as you can see, it's already, moving. If your butter is still hard, just put it in the microwave for a couple seconds till it gets to this softness. I just had mine sitting out on the counter, so it's perfect. To this, I'm gonna add in some salt. Even though this is salted butter, the chicken does need salt, so I'm gonna add in a little extra salt. My pepper here. And what we're doing right now is making the butter have all these flavors running through it, so then we're actually gonna smear it on the chicken and underneath the skin and get it all coated with this butter. Then we're gonna layer it into our casserole dish. Next, the herb de Provence. This is such a great spice. It's amazing, and it's hard for me to describe. You just should go out and get it, because if you don't have it, just try it. It's really, really good, and it lends so much flavor to this recipe. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of that on top. Right. And next we're gonna go in with some thyme. Now the thyme is strong and the herb de Provence is strong, so I'm only gonna add in probably a little bit of a pinch of thyme, maybe 2 pinches. And the link below also will have all the measurements for all of this here so that you can make it perfectly every time. I'm gonna go in with the red pepper flake, as much or as little as you like, or leave it out, up to you. Now, garlic powder, onion powder. It's a given, especially for chicken. If anybody's seen any of my other videos, I rarely leave this out. So garlic powder's going in first. All right. And the onion powder. All right, so now I'm gonna take my fork and I'm just gonna mix this together until the spices are well combined in with that butter. So the spices are all combined in with the butter. Look how great that looks. I mean, this is good just how it is, but it's gonna be even better when we put this onto the chicken. So, clean hands. I'm gonna de-bling really quick. We have our chicken thighs here, and actually the best tool is your hands at this point because you wanna get this butter all over the skin, underneath the skin, and on the bottom underside of the chicken thighs. So I'm gonna show you how to do one of them, and then I'm going to just slather it right on the top, underneath the skin, because that's gonna flavor the meat and also get that skin really crispy because you're gonna have butter on both sides. I'm gonna flip it over and just do a smear on that side, and then, oh, so good. And by the way, this smells amazing. Herbs are the best low-carb way to add flavor into any meal. They're great. All right, 1 down, 3 more to go. All right, so I smeared that butter all over all my chicken thighs, underneath, under the skin, on the top. We are ready to go. This is gonna flavor the chicken so much and then keep it moist as well while keeping it low carb. To this chicken, I'm gonna take my chicken stock, and what I'm going to do is kind of eyeball it. I wanna just maybe come up halfway. So I'm not gonna use all that I have here. That's all I wanna do. And depending on the size of your baking dish, I like to use one that just fits all the thighs. So 4, and this is like an 8 by 8, I think, maybe 9, I'm not sure. But anyway, it fits everything. You want the chicken stock to come up just about halfway. So you might need more or less depending on the size of your pan. Taking my fresh sprig of rosemary, putting it right underneath, and then the lemon. Now what I'm gonna do is squeeze the lemon over the top. If some seeds fall in, it's totally fine. We can fish them out later. It's not a huge deal. So I'm gonna do that. And then the lemon is actually gonna just go and get tucked in there as well. It's gonna cook along with the chicken. Saved my fork. If you can pick off the seeds at this point, it'd be a good idea if those two were just right on top. So I'm just gonna fish them out. Okay, now I want this chicken stock to get underneath all of them. So I'm just gonna pick each one up just to let the chicken stock get underneath. And then I'm gonna check my level of chicken stock and see if I need to add any more. This is gonna evaporate, but it's also gonna cook and create a beautiful sauce in the bottom of this casserole dish. And I don't wanna steal the butter, so I'm trying to get it back on the chicken. There we go. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more. There we go. All right, and we are ready to go. So I'm gonna pop this into my oven. It's been preheating at 375 degrees. And as soon as it's done, it'll be nice and golden brown on top. My chicken will be cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're gonna be ready to dig into this. I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like because it's literally amazing. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, and then I'll bring you back here to show you what the chicken looks like when it's done, and also how we create the sauce, because there's a lot of fat in the chicken thighs, so we need to skim a little bit of the fat off the sauce before we can enjoy it. But I'll show you guys all how to do that. Just stay tuned. It smells phenomenal in my kitchen. Just wanted to let you guys know. The chicken is done cooking. I just want to show you the platter. Before I even do anything with the gravy, look at how elegant this chicken looks. I mean, it's restaurant quality right here. You guys saw what was in it. This is a lemon butter chicken. So simple. With a couple spices. The only thing this chicken needs is some gravy. As you can see in here, I tilted my casserole dish. I know it's dirty. It was in the oven. It was in the oven for 1 hour, by the way. So 375, 1 hour, and this is what we have here. The chicken's nice and brown. My sauce is begging to be added to this platter. But I have to get rid of this fat first. And as you can see, the fat is gonna be on this top layer, and it's gonna be clear. See when you get a little bit of the solvent in there, the cloudy, that you don't want that. We only want to take the clear. So what I do is run my spoon and get that off of there, because that is just fat. That's not gonna be good for our sauce. It's actually gonna make it heavy, and if I eat too much of that, because of experience, I think, you guys might want to know, it might upset your stomach. So before I used to do this, and I didn't take this off, and it wasn't good. So I'm just gonna go and run my spoon very carefully, very patiently too, and get all this fat off. I'm gonna pour the sauce on top, and that's when you guys are gonna be with me, because I'll show you what it looks like when I'm pouring the sauce on top. Got all the oil off of this. This gravy looks fantastic. All I'm gonna do now is just spoon this right on top of each one. I have a platter that has a little bit of a bowl, if you can see, inside, so it's gonna catch all this liquid. and I want to literally use all of it. The chicken's just gonna soak it up, and it's just more and more flavor. Okay. Bring this platter to your dinner table, and your guests will say, what takeout restaurant did you get this from? Because it's just so pretty. And literally, it's so simple, and it's low carb. So, I mean, you can still eat a fancy dinner. Make this for your hubby, for your wife, just, that's something special. They won't even realize how easy it was. Take all the credit from me. Say, I made this up. Do it. I don't care, because it's literally that good. And also, I don't know if you guys can see behind me on the stove, my cauliflower rice with garlic and peas is actually on the stove. I just made that. That's what's going to go with this tonight. I'll put the link down below to the full measurements and video for that recipe. That's just stellar. It's just an amazing side dish to have with any protein, but something like this is great to serve with something that will soak up this sauce, like a cauliflower mash instead of mashed potatoes, or a cauliflower rice, which is why that recipe is just a go-to. Serve that with a salad. You got a romantic dinner. Light a candle. You guys can do it. Come on. But anyway, I've talked enough. Sorry. I'm gonna dig into one of these so you guys can just see exactly how good it is. I'm gonna dig into this one because it's the closest one to me. Chicken is nice and crispy. Oh my goodness. Like I said, guys, chicken thighs, economical right now. Use them. I'm telling you. There's so many good recipes out there. This is one of them. Digging in. Oop. I am not giving up any piece of this or my skin. Awesome. Dare I say, for the moment, because tomorrow may change, this is my favorite oven baked chicken. It's moist because we're using dark meat chicken thighs. I'm telling you guys, you have to do this way because it's so good. You can do it with chicken breasts if you really think you need to, but they might dry out. I would definitely go for the bone-in, skin-on chicken thigh for this. It's phenomenal. The best part is, if you're not a huge lemon fan, some people are not. I only used half of a lemon. This is not screaming lemon, citrus in your nose, whatever. It's not. It's just a nice little kiss at the end. And I'm telling you, all the spices, nothing really stands out to me. It just all is like this luxurious chicken. I don't even know what to say about it. You guys just need to make it tonight for your loved one, for yourself. Like I said, cooking for singles, just do it. I'm telling you. Click the link below. I'm going to put the link to my blog. The whole ingredients, measurements, recipe will be there. Check it out, and please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this, and please come back, follow me, because I'm going to be sharing so many really good comfort food recipes for this end of the year, the last quarter of the year. It's nice and cold. You want to get your Uggs on, let's do it. Let's do comfort food, low carb style, of course. But I will see you guys next time. Thank you for, joining me for this dinner, and I'm gonna go have dinner with my cauli rice and my baked chicken. I'll see you next time.